Trying to use my phone to record this. Ish. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible. Oh, there you go. That'll about do. I've been listening to what my cousin Phil had to say about all the COVID lockdown things. And although I really strongly agree with most of his arguments, I don't come up with the same conclusions. Hey, very good. I'll put a link. But, I've been just writing notes all the bloody time on what Phil said. Where do we start? Well, quite local. It's dog feet. Dogs don't get COVID, do they? So martial law. Yeah. It's kind of a strange situation. My politics, I don't want any central government telling me what to do. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. But if you've got a pandemic, then some kind of clear, general advice could be useful. If you've got a good scientific team, Cambridge, Sage, whatever they are, then they feed their information to central government, then they put it out to everywhere. That sounds reasonable to me. Which isn't what happens. They just do things for political purposes, and it seems now that the desperation, if anything, because they've just fucked it up so much. Like, they were told that there'd be back in March. I think they should be held responsible, those people in central government that didn't act. They had all the information that said, well, yay, many people will die, and they didn't act. I think that is beyond irresponsible. I think that's culpable negligence. And people like Keir Starmer, the barrister, should be pulling them up on that. Yeah, but right, to Phil's point, like the idea of martial law, yes. I am a fucking anarchist, heaven's sake. I don't want any central government. But when it comes to a pandemic, I think it's perfectly reasonable for central government to say, don't do that. I think that is quite reasonable, given the leeway central government gets. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think it would be a bit better if people thought, oh, well, there's a very good chance I might be passing on the virus. If I talk to you without a mask, or I'm going out partying, I'm going to be passing on this disease that might kill you or kill your grandparents, whatever. My parents, I'm 56, so my grandparents are long gone. My mother is 80-something, my father is 80-something, They could be affected by this, by some arsehole in a party in Bristol just spreading the disease. I've not personally been affected by it particularly, My partner, she's been working for local testing, and basically going testing people up in the hills to see if they've got the virus, still have the virus. And yesterday she had to recommend 3 people to go to hospital. It's a serious matter. This thing is here. And I suppose the thing I disagree with Phil on is the reaction to it, that it's here. Perhaps the hospitals could be overwhelmed. There could be a huge death rate, I may be wrong, but right, it's that kind of risk that you don't want to take. I personally think it should be a bit more down to your personal responsibility to say, well, I'm not going to pass if I've got it, even if I'm asymptomatic. I'm going to wear a mask just in case, because I feel it is my responsibility as a member of the human race not to kill the people. So anyway, kicking the can down the road. Oh, definitely. Yeah, the UK government have been kicking the can down the road. It's ridiculous. They're just trying to... I suppose they've got all the lobbyists, the Tory lobbyists, the money men, the city people, pushing them to keep the... Well, the economy won't go if there's a huge proportion of the population either sick or dead. So, I think it's sort of in the interests of the commercial world, just to do a lockdown. I think that's a very, very good idea. Doling out money, they should be doling out money. And Phil is saying, well, they've only got limited funds. They've got plenty of bloody funds. What was it, about 15 billion for nuclear weapons? Come on. They've got plenty of funds, which are paid for by the British taxpayer. Holidays? Now, that is one that really pisses me off. They should have blocks on, at least testing on transport from overseas between major population centres. They should block that without testing. Why the fuck do you need to get a flight from London to Glasgow? There's a train. Why the fuck? Sorry. I've written wrestle a bull -kids. Wrestle a bull. I don't know. That's probably some Stoke expression from Phil. The money should go. The money definitely should. Here I agree with Phil absolutely. This bailout money should first go to the NHS, because that's our safety net. That is what is keeping people alive. The fucking NHS in the UK is keeping people alive. It's not exactly the same. I'm in Italy, so it's not exactly the same, but the same principle, that there is that baseline of if you get ill, somebody will look after you, without you having to do the American thing of having to find insurance and having to die on the fucking doorstep. Test and trace. Now that is where I think the UK government should be criminally liable, because they've just been more than incompetent. More than incompetent. They've sold it off to private companies that are bad at it, knowingly. They have been really fucking shit. Sorry, little rant. All right, vaccine fag packet. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, actually. We don't know whether the vaccine will come in. Hopefully, the vaccine will be available sometime in a year's time. I don't think the answer, though, is to open stuff up, because you're just going to spread the virus and people will die. Simple as that. Keep it under margins. Like, you don't want to knacker the NHS. You don't want that many. I don't think herd immunity is an idea. I don't think herd immunity is an idea at all. And like recent sort of like findings have said that that's not the case. That like you can catch it again. So I don't think you should be as fatalistic as saying, I've written it down here, if it kills me, it kills me. I think that's just a bit fatalistic, don't you think? The mental health thing. Jesus. Let me tell you about living alone, mental health. Yeah, it's a problem. But I think it's a falsehood to think that the UK government has so limited funds they can't put more into the NHS. Common sense. Yeah, absolutely, common sense. I mean, I think that's the bottom line, really, when it comes to the COVID thing. That you my personal responsibility is not just in case I have the virus, I'll wear a mask when I see somebody else. Distance, simple. Wash hands, gel, whatever. It's not a big deal, seriously. I'm missing sex, though. But, just, it's not a big deal. That common sense thing. Don't go and have a party. Oh, nearly finished these now. I think I have. But like my conclusions from this is that the UK government is totally incompetent. They are too much pressured by lobby groups and the traditional Tories that want business interests to do fine, want to make a lot of money about their business. It's habit. It's habit. They want their business interests to do fine. It's not like they need it. And things like hair salons. Come on. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, I did kind of agree with Phil on his analysis, but I don't come to the same conclusions. I think a very strong lockdown would be a very good idea, just to sort of like slow it down. At least give the NHS a chance to, I don't know, get normal health coverage going back again. Well, I don't know. I'm not.